The NBA Finals are in a bit of a pause now after a Game 2 win for the Boston Celtics on Sunday, extending their lead in the NBA Finals to 2 games. And for Dallas, this has to feel, for Dallas fans anyway, this has to feel very hopeless right now because you got the exact game that everyone was saying Boston had to watch out for, and you still lost. It was the bad shooting game. It was one of these nights Boston's three-pointers are just going to dry up and you can come in and win that game. No one considered the fact that Boston would have one of those nights and Dallas would still lose. The Celtics had a really bad shooting performance. Tatum was really bad and they still couldn't get the job done. Why? A number of different reasons. One, once again, Brown was exceptional in this game. Defensively, he was awesome. Offensively, he was helping to generate everything that they needed to. And he has really stepped up. Like, I understand if you were to start a franchise tomorrow, you are picking Tatum over Brown. You are picking Tatum and probably a wide number of players before you get to Jaylen Brown. But Brown has been the better player in the first 2 games of this series, and it isn't particularly close. And yes, Tatum has done a lot of those little things to help you win, right? Like, defensively, he has been good. Rebounding, he has been good. Playmaking, he has been good. But shooting, he has been abysmal. And shot selection has been bad, too, to the point of being detrimental to the team. So, I'm not saying he's been a net negative, but he certainly hasn't been a net positive in the way that Jaylen Brown has been. Also, Derek White has been phenomenal. The shot block, yes, there was a bit of a foul. The people calling, like, oh, well, there was a foul at the end. It's like, man, there were about 8 that you could call before that one. Like, that literally was a foul, yes. And given the situation, missing that kind of sucks. At the same time, they let a lot worse go than that. Like, that is a letter of the law one. And if they called it the freaking out today where how can you call that foul in that type of a situation? Like, there's a lot of playing the results going on here right now. But White still comes up with a great block. He had a couple other really good blocks in that game. He has completely shut down basically anyone he has been put on, and he has made enough shots that it has helped carry the water for this team offensively. And then Drew Holiday has been exceptional as well. Defensively, again, just doing everything that Boston needs him to do to get victories. He has done it. And on the Mavericks side, someone needs to step up who's not Luka, because Luka was brilliant. His playmaking is exceptional. That pass where Doris was losing her mind on it, and rightfully so. He's driving baseline. You have Porzingis on him, and I think it was White. It was either White or Holiday trailing, and he just does like a no. I don't even know how he knew Exum existed on this planet at that point. And he does the look around, and Exum doesn't even have to move. He gets it right where he wants it, and he nails a 3. That was a beautiful play from one of the great players in the NBA today. Just an exceptional play from Luka Doncic, and it was just incredible shots, incredible baskets. Boston was targeting him defensively, and I do think that a lot of what happened late in the game was Luka was wearing out. And this is where I think there is a bigger picture. Like, he needs more help just in general. Like, just from a math standpoint, he can score only so many points in a game. You need more of your players to score, especially when White's going off, when Holiday's going off, when Porzingis is going off, when Pritchard's hitting bank shots from half court, which was I thought, just like a quick aside, I thought that was a huge moment in that game. And I don't think that's been talked about enough today. That was, Dallas was getting that momentum back, and it felt like, okay, we got this. We're only down 6 going into the fourth quarter. We got this. And that shot, and it's 9, and it is only a difference of 3 points. That is how that shot works. But it just felt like the dagger. Like that there was an entire quarter to play, but winning a quarter by 7 is a whole lot easier to do than winning a quarter by 10. And I get it is only one shot, but that was such a momentum boost for Boston. And it finally was the shot that crowd was waiting for. They were that, like, you hear it kind of cliche among NBA announcers sometimes, or, oh, the roof would have come off this place if he would have hit that shot. Boston had about 8 of those that they missed, and they make that one, and the place is going nuts. And it felt like at that point, there was nothing Dallas was going to be able to do. And they made a run, and they got it close. but never got it close enough. And I think that 3 points was a huge swing in this game. But it wouldn't have needed to be that way if Dallas could get something from someone else. And like I said before, just for counting up points, they need more of them. But also, they need to take a bit of the pressure off of Luka. And this offense only runs through Luka, I understand that. But there was a point late in the game where they sat Luka in the fourth quarter, Kyrie tried to do his thing, and he was awful. And then Luka came back in, but he was hanging out back. Like, it was basically 4-on-5. That you still have to watch him because he's Luka. But he was hanging out by the logo for a lot of the possession, letting Kyrie do his thing. And then with 4 seconds left, it was like, okay, well, I'm not getting it. Here, Luka, you get it. And he has to do something. It ends up being not a great look. And Boston ends up going back the other way. They need Kyrie to be better, to give Luka a bit of a breather, even when Luka's on the floor. Like, if you can buy him 1 or 2 or 3 extra possessions with Kyrie just being awesome, that is, I think, something that is going to be able to help out the Mavericks here. I think the Mavs will get a little bit better at home. Role players just tend to play better at home, but they need Kyrie to get back to the Kyrie that he was a series ago. Everything he does right now feels like it is out of the flow of the offense. He has been completely taken away from anything when Luka is out there doing his thing. They have done a great job of cutting him off. And then when Kyrie decides, okay, I need to get mine, it basically, like, it feels like one of those cartoons back in the day where you would have like the main storyline, and then for 5 minutes we've just gone off over here and it's a whatever, right? Like you have your regular Bugs Bunny and Tweety whatever, and then for 3 minutes you have something else. I don't know why I'm blanking on every other Looney Tune, but you get my point. You get just like a quick like, oh, and by the way, here's this B story, that whatever. Kyrie's the B story right now. Luka is out there doing the main thing, and now for something completely different. Kyrie goes out, it feels like a completely different team. It feels like another game. It doesn't feel like anything that the Mavs are doing right now, and it's not working. So again, credit Boston, but he needs to be better in those spots. And just a quick note, it's not, I don't think it's anything actionable or anything like that. The one knock I have on Boston, I have hated the looks that they have got coming out of timeouts. And that they've been bailed out either by offensive rebounds or by stops at the other end. But they, a couple of times in that game, when it was still in the balance, they'd call a timeout, and the timeout was basically just to settle everything down. But hey, while we're here for 60 seconds, may as well try to get a good shot away, huh? And it ends up with like White taking a deep 3 or a random scramble, and someone has to hit a bailout shot and it doesn't work. So that was just something I noticed, that Boston, I think, needs to get a lot better at their plays coming out of timeouts, because those are easy times where you can set up a fun play and then get into your regular offense some other way.